Welcome back to the Frugal Gardener's Homestead. I'm the Frugal Gardener, and this is another episode of Countdown to Spring. We have been having crazy weather. This has been the wildest winter that I can remember in a very long time. It is it's about 60 degrees outside right now. It was in the single digits about a week ago. This was all covered with snow, and now the snow is gone. So I get to film outside today for a little bit. And this is the episode that a lot of you guys have been waiting for. I have been receiving messages from some of you about what we're going to do this spring in terms of pollination. A lot of you may not have this problem yet, but before you dismiss this video and say, well, I have plenty of bees, I don't have an issue, I want you to listen to something that I just recently read. Okay, a severe ongoing honeybee colony collapse is occurring in 2025. So this was less than a year ago, with potential losses exceeding 60 to 70% of commercial colonies, making it the worst. I don't have the last part. Making it one of the worst ever. There's another part to this that I'm going to try and pull up. I'm basically using two phones. Okay, here it is. 70% of the commercial colonies, making it one of the worst on record, worse than the initial 2006, 2007 colony collapse disorder. So that was serious business back then, and now they're saying that this could possibly exceed that. Now, I have to point out that this is commercial, so this is not, home gardeners, but if it's affecting commercial gardeners, then yeah, it's going to trickle down to us, if not already. I don't know how many of you guys know my story. I'm showing you all this for a reason, because I'm taking this very seriously. Last year, well, let me back up and put it to you this way. I think that I may have gotten a little spoiled, because most of my life I spent in the city, and then 5 years before I moved out here, I spent in kind of a suburban area. All my neighbors had nice, pretty flowers. I didn't understand why they weren't growing food, but that's another story. They were everywhere I looked, every yard, they had flowers, which means I had bees. So I kind of took it for granted. And once you crack the code of planting your garden, watering your garden, weeding your garden, add nutrients to your garden, then the rest is simple. I mean, one year I grew 57 cucumbers. I didn't have any problem growing tomatoes. Definitely didn't have any problem growing squash. And I got out here, all that changed. I was in for a rude awakening, and I kind of wasted last year. I shouldn't even call it waste. I struggled getting the bees to come. And so when the bees did come, they basically came to that one area, that yard that you guys see me use, where I was very successful in growing a lot of things. But the problem was the few bees that I did get, they stayed in here. This, obviously, I'm going to have to get this in shape in the next couple of weeks for the new growing season. But again, for you guys who are regulars, you're familiar with this area. The bees would come here, and I had a nectar container up here, and that's where the hummingbirds would come, and that was it. They would hang out here. So all this was a problem. So last year and year before last, I had this brilliant idea, being sarcastic, that I was going to plant wildflowers in this whole area here, which is probably about 50 feet. This is all going to be covered with wildflowers, and that was going to bring in the bees. Problem solved, right? Well, this is clay soil. I had to test it. I'm going to test it again because I was recently given a test kit. So I'll be putting that to use. But this, I was able to get some of the plants to grow, but I did not take into consideration that there were going to be deer and rabbits that were going to come along and eat this. I'm standing in front of my house, so I didn't think they were going to come up this close, but they did. So how do I know? I know because I have cameras, and the trail cams showed me the rabbit basically just having a field day. And so this is not going to work for me. So I have a whole new plan, because if this doesn't work, I'm going to waste another summer and not being able to grow some of the things that I want to grow. So today, I'm going to show you the results of my research, and I'm going to show you 10 plants and vines that are deer resistant, rabbit resistant, and some of them are drought resistant, that are going to come back every year. My criteria is that they have to come back every year, with the exception of one, which is a sunflower. Everything I'm going to plant is has been from me doing research and basically picking things that I know are going to last. So I'm going to do these 5 first, and then I'm going to explain all this here, and then I'll do the second 5. So stick around, because this is going to be very useful information. Some of these you're going to have to stratify. So stratification, we've gone over this before, and if you have any questions about it, put them down in the comments and I'll explain it to you. But they also come, that information comes on the seed packets. So when you get the seeds, if you get the seeds, you'll be able to figure it out. So this yellow yarrow, the yarrow, I mean, the reason why it says gold or yellow is because it comes in different colors. But this is going to take you 14 to 28 days before you actually get this to germinate. And you see I got the 700 pack. I try not to mess around with these little packs anymore, because as I explained in the previous video, the prices are going up. So I try to buy enough so that I can have for a couple of years. And this is a perennial. So, and obviously made in the USA. So that's the first one. The second one is the red trumpet vine. And that that can take up to 30 days. This is the reason why I'm coming to you guys now. The spring solstice is in exactly 30 days. So we have less than a month. Next month is spring. That's it. It starts to get warm down here. I'm in zone 7A in West Virginia. It starts to get warm down here around the towards the end of March, going into April. So when you consider how long it's going to take for some of these to germinate, and some of these you're going to want to start inside, or if you have a greenhouse, in your greenhouse. So you want to pick these up now, so that you'll have them and you'll be ready. It's going to take you 14 to 21 days to germinate this echinacea. This is another one, but here's the other thing that you guys need to know, and that is these do not all bloom at the same time. You have some of these that are going to bloom in the spring, late spring, early summer. Some of these are going to bloom midsummer, going into fall. So that's something else you have to take into consideration. Out of the 10 plants that I chose, plants and vines, this is the only one that doesn't meet my criteria. And this is sunflowers. Now, I will have to plant that inside the gate because the deer will definitely have a field day with this. But I'm picking this for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons why I made an exception on this one is because I want the seeds for sunflower seeds. And also, this thing, these grow 8 to 12 feet. So this is going to stand out like a beacon. So the bees will see this and they'll definitely be attracted to it. But like I said, this is the only one that's not going to come back. This is the only one that I am concerned about the deer and the birds eating. Now, there's a small caveat. You see, I have 5 more in here and some wildflowers in here. But here's the caveat. When I say that these are deer resistant and rabbit resistant, that's after they get established. That's once they get a little bit of height to them, once they get, I'm going to probably have to put some sort of netting over them in the beginning. And then once they get established, then no problem, shouldn't be a problem. From everything I've read, it basically says, unless the deer and the rabbits get really hungry, they won't bother it. And we're talking about spring and summer where there's going to be plenty around for them to munch on. So I don't see that as a problem. This is the one that almost didn't make the list. I am very interested in this. It has a very pungent smell to it. The problem is this can be evasive. So I'm going to have to be careful where I plant this. And that is the Siberian pea shrub. And anything that has the word Siberian in it for me, that means that it can take the cold. So this will definitely come back year after year. This actually gets pretty tall. And this is another one that's going to take you 60 days. 60 days for it to germinate. Some of these, as I mentioned earlier, require a stratification. Now, the thing that I focused on, you might notice these colors. This is the bag, one of the bags that I showed you guys in the previous video. These are the grow bags that I recently got. Now, the situation with that is because the bees are attracted to colors. The birds and the bees are basically attracted to specific colors. Bees like blue, they like violet, they like purple, they like yellow, and they like white. So there's your yellow, there's your purple, and here's your white. Now, this is where I explain all this to you. This you probably guessed already. This is to trap any of the rabbits that decide they want to come in my yard and eat my plants. I need to attract as many bees as possible. People, they think of pollinators. When they think of pollinators, they think of bees. But there are a lot of bee words that also are pollinators, like bats and butterflies, and obviously birds. So you got birds, bees, bats, butterflies. You have different types of bugs that are also pollinators. They don't do as good of a job as the bees. I would say the bees are first, and probably hummingbirds are probably second. But at any rate, what I have done is decided to use my cameras because they worked for me the last time. This is how I knew that the rabbits came in. So once my seeds are planted, I have the 2 trail cams. I obviously set them up in different areas. And this way, I can take those cards out, memory cards, and I can check periodically. Usually when the season starts, I'll check them every other day or sometimes every day, depends upon how busy I am. And this will tell me exactly what's coming through my yard, what's coming through my garden, and what I will need to do in order to prevent them from coming in. This is brand new. I showed this to you guys a video or two ago. I was excited about this. I still am, But the more I researched it, I realized this is what they call a bee hotel. Um, this is for what they call solitary bees. These are not the bees that you see in a regular hive that where you have the honeybees. The only problem I have with this is not going to really benefit me until next year. Apparently, the bees go in here and they lay eggs, and they fill these tubes up with eggs, and it overwinters, and then next spring, bam, I have bees. So I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's not going to help me this summer. I'm going to have to wait before I get a benefit out of that. This, you guys probably know from last year, or you know what this is. Anyway, I mean, it's a hummingbird feeder. I make my own solution. It's basically sugar water. I'm going to get a second one of these and put that up. And this, you should also know, I'm doing an upgrade on this. The last year, my water feature wasn't up to snuff. And basically, the wind blew it over. When the wind blew, it blew the water out. So this tub here, the smaller ones are about $2 at Walmart. They're 3 something, I think, for this size for the larger ones. But you can go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, any of those stores, which really aren't really dollar stores anymore, but that's another story. And you can probably get these cheaper. These fountains are run by solar, so you're not using any electric. And these run about $10. I get these from Amazon, but you can probably get them from Home Depot or a bunch of other places, Lowe's. Which, by the way, I'll give you guys a little. This has nothing to do with the actual video, but I learned that Lowe's and Home Depot have cameras set up in their parking lots. And the original purpose of those was to mitigate theft, to keep people from it enabled them to catch thieves because they get your license plate number and make and model, and this was their way of cutting down on the thief. However, I recently learned that they are sharing this information with law enforcement. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, I have to go there because that's what's in my area, but I don't like the idea of people taking my information and passing it on, especially without letting people know. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Back to what we're doing here. So the plants, like I said, are deer and rabbit resistant. I am definitely going to stagger these planting. I'm not going to plant everything at once, all 10 of these at once. And this year, I'm going to definitely get the benefit out of them. It's definitely going to bring, between these colors and the water features, which I'm going to do 2 of, the bird feeders, and everything else, I should be good. I mean, this is exactly what I should have done last year, year before last, but I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't take it as seriously as I should have. So we have the grow bags, we have the trail cams, we have the hummingbird feeder, we have the 2 water what will be 2 water features. Also have bird feeders that I haven't shown you guys, and the bee house and the rabbit cage. And just FYI, if I catch any rabbits, they're not going in the pot. They're not going to be killed. I'm going to take them down to the bottom of the hill, take them away from the property, and release them. That's the reason why I'm using the cage and not poison or not, anything lethal, because I just want them out of my garden. I don't care what they do once I get rid of them, but I just want to get them out of the garden and away from eating my stuff. So now that you guys know what the plan is and know what I'm going to do, again, this is something you might not have a problem with it right now, but I don't think you want to do like I did and then wait and then have to try and figure out a solution. So I'm going to move on to the last 5, and then we'll be done. So I said last 5, and I'm only showing you 4, and the reason is because I'm still waiting for the Russell lupine. When I get that, I'll probably bring you guys up to speed on that one in the next video or 2. I'm expecting it in a couple of days. So these 2 actually are new to me. This wild bergamot and this blue vervain. They are both new to me. And the blue vervain is self-seeding. So it's not really considered a perennial, but because it's going to drop its seeds and come back, then I guess that's why they consider it a perennial. And this is something that's going to come in the midsummer. So this is another one that's probably not going to do anything early on. It does require stratification. So again, it's good for you to get these seeds now because you're going to need to put them in the fridge for, it depends. Some of them for up to 30 days and they'll be good to go. This is the same situation with the lavender. Now, again, those of you who subscribe and who have watched my videos, I have lavender all over the place. The thing with the lavender is you are supposed to use the stratification process. You're supposed to put the seeds in the refrigerator. I've done both. Sometimes I just direct sow, and you will get some germination, but the germination is not going to be that great. So it depends on how much of a hurry you're in, depends on how many seeds you have, it depends on the person. So right now, I do have seeds in a damp paper towel inside a plastic bag in the refrigerator. They've been here for a couple of weeks. So I'm using that process. Whereas in the past, like I said, sometimes I'll just throw the seeds in the ground. You have to keep them watered. That's the main thing. Is keep the seeds moist. So the the other one is this wild bergamot, which is also new to me. That is spring and summer, so you can get those started early. They don't have to wait until the summer to come out. You can start those early on. Now, that's going to take you 10 to 20 days before you see anything pop out of soil for those. So these are long wait times. In my opinion, they're long wait times. I'm used to waiting, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. But a lot of these are 10 days, 15 days, 20 days. Some of them are 30 days. And I think it's well worth it because when you look at the pop of color you're going to have in your yard, when you look at the bounty of flowers you're going to have in your yard, and the fact that it's going to attract, along with everything else that we're doing here, with the water, with the bird feeders, we're going to definitely, and these bright colors, we're going to definitely be creating a environment that's going to bring in the birds. It's going to bring in the hopefully the good bugs. It's going to bring in the bees, and this way my problem will be solved. Because you might say, why am I going to this extreme? Why am I getting all this stuff now? The reason is simple. The reason is because if I blow it again this summer, I have to wait another year. And having 2 years without being able to grow a significant amount of squash, a significant amount of whatever it is I plant. I did okay with the potatoes and the sweet potatoes, did okay with the green beans, but my goal is to eventually have enough food to feed my family at least for 6 months. The sweet potatoes and the white potatoes lasted me until the holidays. So that was a good start. but I'm going to expand. I do have the space. I have 4.5 acres now, and I don't really need, I mean, I can do that with what I'm growing on now, which is about 1/4 of an acre. But I have to get all of this started. The other problem I had when I tried to plant these wildflowers over in the other end where I showed you is they have to stay moist for weeks. And that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of time. And that takes away a lot of water. I don't have city water, but I do have enough to do what I need to do out here. But using that to water flowers when I'm trying to grow food, it's kind of a struggle to keep up with both, especially when the weather gets hot. So I'm showing you these wildflowers here, and I'm showing you these cosmos. I love this color. I love these flowers. They're very, very pretty. But that is something that there are annuals and perennials in here. And this is something that I know the birds are going to eat. This is 15 different varieties. So, you're probably asking yourself if you know that the deer and the rabbits are going to come and eat it, why plant it again? Well, first of all, this is left over from last year. You can see where the bag has been open. Both of these have been left over from last year. Second of all, I'm hoping and praying that with all these other plants that are not attractive to the critters, that they'll leave these alone. If not, I may have to cover them. I'm not going to try and do a large area like I did in the beginning, because why do the same thing over if you know it doesn't work? So these plants, flowers are going to be concentrated. I'm going to have them in clumps. I'm going to have them in groups. I'm going to have them in different areas of the yard, but I'm not going to have 20, 30 feet of plants. This way, it'll be easier for me to keep track of them. I'll probably even put some of them in these grow bags because of like I said, because of the light color. And I'm definitely going to have them near the water features. So I have this strategically planned, he said. And once I get everything set up and ready to go, I'm obviously going to do another video so you guys will see the way that I set it up. But if you're already doing this, then by all means, I can use whatever pointers you guys want to throw out there, because like I said, I'm used to gardening in the city, and this is my first crack at second crack at actually trying to get these bees to come here so that they can pollinate my plants. Well, the bees and the birds. So yeah, if you have gone through this, if you have suggestions, or if I left anything out, then put it in the comment box, share it with me, share it with everyone else, because like I said, I'm not the only one that is tackling this year. I have had some comments and some correspondence with a couple of other members, and so it's nice to know I'm not alone. But at the same token, hopefully we can all have enough bees, even with this shortage, that we can get our stuff to grow. Now, that's pretty much it, except for the fact that this is Black History Month. And so what I'm going to do is put a link at the bottom of this video to Black-owned seed companies. So if you guys feel like you want to give them a play, then there's about 15 or 20 of them. I didn't realize it was that many. Then you can, throw some business their way. So I'll put that link down there for those of you who are interested in doing that. And the next video that should be popping up, I think it's going to probably be on the right-hand side of the screen, which is going to tell you ways that you can save money and help to add nutrients to your garden without spending any money. A lot of you guys have probably seen that video, but a lot of you haven't. We get new people every week. So I'm going to put that up there and you can check that out. Please share this video. There's a lot of new gardeners out there. Please subscribe, comment, and click that like button. I really appreciate it. This is the first of 3 other videos that I have that I'm working on right now, and I'm going to be putting those out pretty soon. I did a video last week, I think it was, of 10 garden items that you guys need that's going to cost you under $20. Well, I'm working on a new video. In fact, I'm almost finished, where I'm going to show you 12 items for under $10. How's that? So this is, if you can't afford the $20 ones, or if you have the stuff already, or if you just don't feel like you need it, that's one thing. These are going to be $10 and under. So that's it for now. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking through the whole video. I'm the Frugal Gardener. When you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. I'll catch you guys on the flip side in a couple of days.